One approach to building an efficient prefix-free code is known as a Shannon fano code, named after some of the early pioneers of information theory. So the basic idea in a Shannon fano code is that we want to count up all of the characters in our text. And so this is, I'm using Chinese characters just to drive home the fact that it's not all about English. It could be to compress anything. But let's say we want to count the relative frequencies of all characters in a text. Here we see that 35% of them are this character, 17% are this character, 17% are this character, 16% are this, and 15% are this character. Okay? So what we do is, and that means you literally just count the occurrences of them. This is not a very realistic text because this is only 5 possible characters, but let's just use it as an example. So the basic approach is that we're going to split the space of possible symbols into 2 blocks of roughly equal frequency. So because these 2 symbols are 52% of the total characters and these are the other 48, we'll split it in half roughly along those lines. Okay? So what we'll do then is we'll say the left half, they're going to get a leading 0, and the right half, they're going to get a leading 1. Okay? So in other words, the code that we're building, these will start with a 0, and these will start with a 1. Okay? So now what we're going to do is split yet again into a left and a right half. In this case, well, there's only 2 characters, so we can't split it evenly. So yes, it's true that this character happens way more often than this one, but there's nothing we could do about that. There's only 2 characters, so we just split in half arbitrarily. And then on the other side, we want to make the most common character have the shortest code. So which of these 3 do you think should be on its own? This one, because it's 17% of the time, and the other 2, they're going to get a slightly longer code. Okay. So in this case, this character is going to be 1, 0, and then these are going to need to get recursively split so that ultimately we build a prefix-free code that looks like so. That is the Shannon fano code. So it's a very intuitive idea, but what was interesting and observed by its creators is that it did not seem to be optimal. Okay? So it's not optimal. It does not give you the best prefix-free code, and so this alternative we'll see, called Huffman coding, was actually invented as a solution to a final exam. Huffman was in a class taught by, I don't remember if it was Shannon or Fano, but the basic idea was it was a graduate class, and they basically said if you can create an optimal prefix-free code strategy and prove that it works, then, prove that it works and that it's optimal, then you can skip the final, and we'll just give you an A. And so Huffman spent a long time working on it. Now, if you can go and read the story, which hopefully is still up at this website, we'll find out in a moment. All right, good. You will find that apparently right at the moment he was just going to throw all of his work away in the trash and give up, he had a sudden insight. And what he ended up with is what's known as Huffman coding, which we'll see in the next video.